Hey everybody, this is Tommy within the Disney State of Mind. Today we are at Epcot. We're so excited to be here. We're gonna come out, ride some rides, use the lightning lane system. We're gonna show you guys some tips, tricks. We're gonna have the perfect day here at Epcot. We're so excited about this day and we're excited about bringing you guys along with us. Our perfect day actually started well before today. It actually started 7 days ago. And the reason why is because we are staying on property. And so we were able to start making our lightning lane 7 days in advance before our visit. If you're just gonna get a park ticket, it's 3 days in advance. But always make sure that you use that time well. Go in, get your priorities together of what you want to do, decide what lightning lanes you're looking for. If you don't get the one that you want, it's okay. Have a first, second, third option. Make sure that you get some things that you want. But a big tip is to make sure that you book at least one of these super early, right? You want one of the earliest times that you can get, even if it's a ride that you don't really want to ride. And the reason why is because that unlocks the ability for you to be able to start booking more tier ones. So even if you don't use your tier one, book something like we no hate, but we actually booked Journey into Imagination. We booked Figment super early this morning so that once we rode it, we could actually open up more tier ones and we can try to get, Ratatouille if we want to. We're actually going to rope drop Soarin' so that we can ride it because it's, it's amazing. But once you use one, you can pick any tier you want after that. And so always book an early one. Also, remember that at 7 a.m., before 7 actually, you need to be up ready to grab that Guardians of the Galaxy virtual queue. The way that we do it is we open up the app, virtual queue, we confirm our party, and then we click away at the refresh button until the join pops up. We don't even look at it because all of the buttons that you need to push are in the exact same spot. So once you start clicking 60 seconds before 7 o'clock, don't stop pushing that exact spot. It'll go all the way to the confirm screen. Make sure that you take a picture of it in case something goes wrong. And there you go. You've got your virtual queue. Soarin' is a tier 1, which is why we couldn't get it along with Frozen. But we just figured that it would be our rope drop. And so we have to ride it in order to feel like we actually came to Epcot. And so we decided that we would come over here and make this our rope drop. Remember that the perfect day does involve a mix of standby lines as well as lightning lanes. I don't think that you can do it all one way or the other in most parks. But yeah, so this is what we decided to do for one of our standbys. And we're here in line at Soarin', and we just got our virtual queue for Guardians called. We were grouped for it. We knew that it was super early. In a perfect world, it would have been a little bit later. That's actually one of the things that I don't love about this system is that, in an ideal world, we'd use this early entry time. We would go back and try to get in Remy's also before it got crazy. But again, today we're just trying to do what makes the most sense to get into things that we want. And honestly, for us today, Remy's was not a huge priority, but if it were to be a huge priority, we could actually head back there first, and if we were late for our Guardians, we could tell the cast member up front, hey, we rope dropped Ratatouille, and it just took way longer than we expected, and I can't guarantee that they're going to let you in, but with Guardians, they were always more flexible, and have always been more flexible than they were with Tron back when it was virtual queue, and so you probably would do just fine to use that time for that. But again, these are decisions that have to be made of when you want to do them. We may get back there later today, we may not. But for us, Soarin' was a higher priority than Remy's, and we'll see how that pans out the rest of the day. See if maybe we can't make it back there. Did you get to buckle through the loop?
Yeah. Nice work, pal.
You're so close. This may be one of your, you probably only got 5 or 6 more nice work pals, so I gotta use them while I can.
Carry-on items in the underseat. Soarin' to tower. We are ready for takeoff.
Hold on.
I love that ride. I think that some of my favorite things about it are the smells. Like when you're going over Fiji, I love soaring over Fiji. The dirt smell even, when you're going over the elephants in the scene is amazing. If you guys have a favorite scent from Disney, like any of the resorts or some of the rides, things like that, check out Magic Candle Company. They have some really awesome things. They got diffusers and candles and even Carsons, all sorts of things. And if you hop over there, you can use code Disney State, one word, for a special discount on anything that you buy over there. And also, I'll put a link to our storefront down in the description. But they have a great product. We used it long before we had a partnership with them. And I'm so thankful to have that partnership with them now. But again, code Disney State, one word, if you want a special discount. They have all sorts of great stuff. While we were in line for Soarin', and our virtual queue got called for Guardians of the Galaxy, we had group 4. That's the one thing that you can't really control is what boarding group you're gonna get. But right after that, we have our first lightning lane. And this is kind of one of the tips that I wanna give you, is you need to decide what pace you want your day to be. And this is one of the things that I do like about the new system much more than, what I liked about Genie Plus, is because Genie Plus was always next available. And so you couldn't set your times, but with the new system, you can set your times. And so if you want a fast-paced day, you can put all of these things back to back to back, and you can keep running from place to place. Or, you can spread them out some. And when they're spread out, you can do other things. And that's really what you're buying when you buy the system, is you're buying and. I always tell my family that everything in life is or. Saying yes to something is saying no to something else. And whenever you're in Disney, you want to say yes to as many things as possible. And so when we look at what Lightning Lane is, it's like getting, a virtual line. Somebody's waiting in line for you, kind of, right? Because instead of standing in a 60-minute line, you can have a walk-on or a 5-minute or even, a 10-minute line. And what you did is you just bought 30 or 40 minutes. And that doesn't sound like a ton, but when you do that 4, 5, 6 times a day, you can go shopping, you can watch shows, you can sit down somewhere, just people watch, you can enjoy the day. So it kind of opens up the ability to be able to do more of these things, and you get to set your pace. With us, we always go pretty fast pace in the morning, and then we go pretty fast pace again in the evening. But we like to take breaks in the middle of the day. We like to stop, but often we'll leave a park. But we're leaving a park knowing that we're going to come back and still have a great experience, because we have all of those, lightning lanes in the afternoon and the things that we want to do in the afternoon. So just keep that in mind. You're literally purchasing time. People always say you can't buy time, which is true, but you can buy time in Disney World. You ready to ride some Guardians?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go do this. Here's the rest of the crew bringing up the rear. Y'all ready for Guardians?
Yep.
Let's go. Another tip that I want to share with you guys is that if you have a family that's, more thrill seeker type folks, it may be worth the investment to buy Guardians also as an individual lightning lane selection. We've done that so many times. As a matter of fact, we do it more often than not. Today we're not because of time, but very often we'll do that. And it's one of those things that it's kind of you have to decide if it's worth it for your family. But once you ride it once, if you do like thrill, you're gonna wish that you could do it again. And so if that's something that you want to do, I would definitely recommend trying to pick up that individual lightning lane selection there. It is, of course, an extra fee. It's date based, and so the price is gonna change. But sometimes the virtual queue's just not enough. And so keep that in mind, that your perfect day might involve 2 rides of Guardians, because our perfect day usually does 2.
Our cosmic generator has been stolen. What?
How? Why didn't we think of that? That thing's gotta be worth a fortune.
I am Groot.
All right, so what's your hope?
Conga, but I would also be fine with Iran in September.
Conga, Iran, September. All right, Bree, what you thinking, girlie? Nothing?
I'll tell you when we get on.
You'll tell it when you get on. All right, what you thinking, Denise?
Always one way or another.
One way or another? I haven't had Everybody Wants to Rule the World in a little while, and so that's what I'm going with. It's Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Let's see. They're all awesome, though.
But it's never gonna work. Rocket! Well?
Okay, I've locked onto your vehicle.
We'll be right behind you. Nothing to worry about.
Unless we cannot stop this unusually large man, then you are likely doomed.
Rex!
Good luck! You're gonna need it.
resist.
All right, what we getting?
I think we're jumping back.
Here we go. Yeah! Let's go! Yes! Let's go!
Welcome to the Guardians of the Galaxy.
We have no room in our ship for these new cars.
Drax, it's an honorary title. They're not coming with us.
I see. It is meaningless. Well then, welcome to the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, where's that cake toast?
This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Sorry, I like the exit music too. And guess what? People who follow the channel, I remembered my sunglasses. So that's a win, right? Every time. So now we're gonna head over to Journey into Imagination with Figment. And that's actually going to be our very first lightning lane of the day. It's 9:47, and that was the earliest of anything that we could get. And so that's what we got. We kind of like the ride anyway, and so that'll be the one that we start rolling to try to find some other things that we're going to be able to do. But that does open up more tier 1s for us, and so that's the goal, is to be able to see what's available as early as possible for other tier 1s, because those are going to start filling up once other people start riding their stuff too. And so you want to be one of the first folks to get that other selection, that second selection. That's kind of the goal. Now, obviously some things are going to be full anyway. It's not going to shock me if I can't get a Remy's, because it'll probably be full, but I'm going to try. I could actually look right now, but I'm just not. I'll pull out the app in a minute and see. But remember, as soon as we tap in, we're going to be looking for that next one. So you can see what we have right now, 9:25 to 10:25, Journey into Imagination with Figment. Ideally, that first one is the one that you want to tap into like exactly at time. Because of the way that the morning's laid out, we weren't exactly able to do that. And so we are going to run a little bit late on that. But there's a couple of more tips that I'll give you a little bit later. If you guys have watched some of our other videos, you may know these already. But I'll mention it in this one, just in case you only watch the Epcot video. If that's, you know, all that you're planning on doing while you're here, I'll share some of those tips from some other videos on this. But then we have Spaceship Earth at noon, and then Frozen at 1. This was the tier 1 that we picked right away. It's going to go pretty quickly. We've seen that Ratatouille actually is going to be the first one to go, completely sell out on the day, but we prioritized Frozen over Ratatouille. Honestly, we just like it a little bit better, and so that's why we did it, but we'll see what we can come up with later. All right, going into Journey into Imagination, it is literally a posted 5-minute wait. You're going to be able to walk on, but do not fall into the temptation of modifying your lightning lane and then going through standby. That is a terrible idea. And the reason it's a terrible idea is because if you modify, you're not going to be able to have tier 1 accessible to you, but if you tap in, the second you tap in, you do. So resist that temptation. Do not modify.
Listening with your imagination.
Now I've completely lost my train of thought.
No, you haven't. It's over here. All aboard. So let the good times roll. Woohoo! You win 1 cent.
But don't! Oh, yeah, that really stinks.
Of course, Doc. The nose knows.
Had a little glitch back there with everything populating, and that is one of the things that I can't express to you guys enough, is always make sure that you take screenshots of everything, because the system is not perfect. It does glitch, and very often you know, you can have a cast member that'll help you out if you have a screenshot to prove that you had something that's gone. Luckily it repopulated for me, Soarin' came back up, everything was fine, but sometimes it's not. We actually had an experience in Hollywood Studios where if we would not have had that screenshot for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, we wouldn't have been able to ride. And so we were very thankful to have those screenshots, because it helps a whole lot when you have any kind of glitch with the system. Camber K decided to hop over here and meet Figment while we were in here. Remember that they always have some meet and greets going on in here. They also have Joy in here usually right across the way. And so you can come in here and meet some characters. Okay, this is where in Epcot specifically, we would go and watch a Pixar short film. We would go and maybe meet some characters. We would go and do like a standby line for the seas with Nemo and friends. We would do one of those things. And that's one of the things that you do have to remember about Epcot. And it's very much the same with Animal Kingdom, that you are not going to be able to just keep going with your day getting Lightning Lane. And that's why this Lightning Lane is so much cheaper. You know, obviously the cheapest Lightning Lane is over at Animal Kingdom. And the reason why is just because you're not going to get the use out of it. It's a matter of volume, right? There just aren't as many rides. And so that's one of the things to remember and make sure that you weigh into this, is that it's not going to be like if you go back and watch our Hollywood Studios Lightning Lane Day. It's not going to be like that. You're not going to be able to just keep going. And so we do have some gaps here, and this is where we're going to do things like, you know, shows and characters, just walk around World Showcase, things like that. So just make sure you keep that in mind while you're planning the day, especially here at Animal Kingdom, as you are going to have more downtime. So just make sure that your expectations are right, because if your expectations aren't right, you're going to be disappointed in the system. But as long as you know what's going on when you come in, you're still going to have a great day, and the system is going to help you make it through the day and get more out of it. After a family conference, we're going to go over here and ride the seas right now. It's a 15-minute wait. This ride will get down to just a walk-on. It's regularly 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I highly recommend, if it's ever 30 minutes, just skip it and come back to it. It will go down. It's one of those that always has a very low wait time. So we're going to go over there. We could have gotten a Lightning Lane for it. Now it is, it's one of these weird things, and the reason that it's weird is because this is a ride that if it were in Magic Kingdom, you would be able to get like immediate availability. You'd be able to click on it, hop over there. It's just not huge in demand. But because it is here at Epcot and there's not a lot of rides, the first that I could get on it was like 1:30, and I don't intend on still being here at that time unless I'm riding Frozen to finish up the day. And so we're gonna go over here and do it standby. But again, we could have gotten it instead of our second ride on Soarin', but I wanted to ride Soarin' twice, and so that's what we decided to do. So again, just make sure that you know what you want to do when you come in. And here is my next big tip. You can go and see this actually at work in our Hollywood Studios kind of Lightning Lane, best day ever kind of thing video. Today we probably won't bump into it, but what you do need to remember is that even though Disney lists 1 hour as your window to return, that is not the case. You have 5 minutes before and officially 5 minutes after before it runs over. And so you'd think it would be an hour and 10 minutes. That's also not the case. Your window in our experience is actually 3 hours and 5 minutes. And let me explain to you how this works. You have 5 minutes before, right? It's going to roll off of your app when your time expires. And so you're not gonna see it there anymore. It's like it doesn't exist. But as long as you can remember it in your head, hey, I have this, and you remember what time it originally expired, and just add 2 hours to that, as long as you tap in before then, you can get in. You can get a green light instead of a blue light to be able to go in. Now, don't over try this, because this is a situation that you may end up, you know, Disney closes the loophole in it, especially if people start abusing it. But we have been, you know, an hour late for one, tapped in, no issue, it's green. We've been much later and it's blue, and we haven't been able to get in. But I also want you to know that we have held 6 Lightning Lanes before at the same time by using this method. Only 3 are gonna show up in your app. But as long as you can remember in your head and you can get in before that window, in all of our experience so far, you're still able to use them. And so kind of keep that in the back of your mind, that if you do accidentally miss one, it's okay. Just remember that you have it, go try to tap in, and who knows, you may still be able to get in too. And change of plans. By the time we got there, 25-minute wait. I'm not waiting 25 minutes for the seas, sorry. We will come back maybe a little bit later, but I can't do that. And so we're gonna come over here and walk through Journey of Water, inspired by Moana. And for me, this harkens back to old Epcot more than anything else new that they've done recently. It's educational, it's awesome, we just love it. This is such a cool spot for the kids to come around and play. Even big kids, we love playing out here too. You what?
There's 2 in the area.
Oh my goodness. How have we never noticed this or been told this?
Oh, I've been told this many times.
Oh, you have? You knew?
Uh-huh.
Why are you keeping these secrets from me, girl?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's Pua.
14 figurines hidden in the rock. I did not realize
14 figurines in the rocks. Wow. Oh, we missed some. That is awesome. Well, next time we come through, we know what we're doing. Made it. All right, Bree apparently had already found this one.
This is the boat.
Moana's boat. That's awesome. Yeah, and the wave that they're riding. That's really awesome. The centerpiece of this walkthrough is this beautiful Tafiti. Again, they did such a good job. This feels more Epcot than anything that they've added recently. I know I've said that a lot. A lot of people hate on it because of the IP. But this is what Epcot has been, right? It's about conservation and it's about education and all the things. And they just sprinkled some IP in and made it awesome. That was a fun little trip. And we came back out, gonna ride the seas. The end of the line is outside. So no, I just can't do it. Like the wait times are always so low for this ride. Like I cannot imagine starting outside and waiting for it. So maybe later we'll have more time. Again, it's 10:37 right now. I plan on getting out of here around, I don't know, maybe 1:30. The family's gonna hang around a little while longer. I've got some things that I need to do. I've got some obligations that I need to take care of while we're here on property here at the Disney Resort. So the family will probably hang out a little bit longer. They're gonna meet a friend that's a cast member here a little bit later. But again, I've got to get out of here soon, and so that is not on my agenda right now. So what we've decided that we're gonna do is go back over to the Land Pavilion. Remember, I did grab a Soarin', and you guys know that this will be our second ride. But what I do want you to remember is that I can only use Lightning Lane to ride it once. So the first time was a standby. The second time is Lightning Lane. And so you're not allowed to keep picking the same ride with Lightning Lane. You're allowed one ride each day with Lightning Lane. And so if you do want to ride it twice, you are gonna have to get standby. Now, when we go into the Land Pavilion, we've got just a few more minutes. And so we're actually going to see if Living with the Land has, any wait. It should be a walk-on too, but if it doesn't have a wait, we're gonna go and ride it, hop on. It'll be, a Christmas overlay very soon, and so this will be the last time that we get to ride it without the Christmas overlay going into the Festival of Holidays, and so we may as well go give it a ride. We walked in and saw that Living with the Land was crazy. We are not waiting 30 minutes for it. It's all the switchbacks are full. Some days it's just full. And what do we do in those situations? We punt. We call an audible. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna go and watch Awesome Planet while we're in here, and that'll lead us up to our Soarin' Lightning Lane. And so there's always something to do. Just be aware of what's going on, and you can still have a great day, even when the parks are crazy like they are today. As far as shows go here, this is one that I actually prefer over some of the ones in the pavilions, because when you think about things like Canada Far and Wide, or the Circle Vision stuff, you always have to stand up. And so if you're looking for somewhere to sit down, here is a great one. And also over at the America Pavilion, the theater there is also awesome. And so if you're looking for a place to sit down and chill, relax between Lightning Lanes, before dinner, whatever it is, these places are great. The big theaters, you can always get in. There's plenty of seats. It's air conditioned usually. And so definitely take advantage of these spots if you need a quick rest.
If you were looking for the perfect home, this would be it. I know it doesn't look move-in ready just yet, but trust me, this property is one of a kind.
We really enjoy that show. It's great. It talks about conservation, things like that. it's always a whole lot of fun to go and see. They did a really great job with it. So now we're heading down. It is time for our Soar and Lightning Lane, and we're going to see what we can get after that. Remember that the second that we tap in, we're going to want to make sure that we can go ahead and get another one. I think there are two tap points here, so I'm going to get on the escalator without falling. That's my goal anyway. And so I think there are two tap points, so the second that we tap in the second one, we'll get one, but I'm going to check at the first, because again, you want to make one just as quickly as you can, and so we'll see what's available. It is a 50-minute wait right now on standby, and so we're going to tap in right here. And let's see if there's another tap point or not. Again, this will populate right up top as soon as you can book another one. I'm pulling down just to refresh. Yep, right there. It says select a new one. And so there's not going to be a ton available, again, because there's not a lot of rides here. But there is a Living with the Land, and we said that we wanted to ride it, and so we're going to go ahead and grab that, because again, there's just not a lot left. We're going to click continue. Here's the screen that I mess up on often. I feel like it's always booked right here. It is not. You're going to go down to the bottom, click continue there. Now I'm going to click view my day, and when view my day pops up, I'm going to go to these selections, and I'm going to grab a screenshot of them just in case anything happens. And there you go. We're set to ride Living with the Land after a while. This is one of those situations that I was talking about earlier where, you know, we wanted to ride Living with the Land because it's going to be our last time to be able to ride it before they get ready for Festival of the Holidays here very soon, before the Christmas overlay. And so we wanted to ride it, but it was posted a 25-minute wait. It was longer than that because of the way that all the switchbacks were. It would take a while to get through. And so what we did as soon as we tapped in here, we saw Living with the Land available on Lightning Lane. And so we clicked on it. 25 minutes from now, we'll be able to ride it. And so it's almost like we're waiting in line at two different attractions. I mean, when you think about it that way. And so again, it's not totally necessary here at Epcot, but if this is a once a year, once every 3 to 5 year vacation, it's something that you probably want to budget for because it is going to help you be able to get more out of your vacation. But like I said before, if you only have like 2 days that you can budget for it, Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios. But even here with fewer rides, it can help if you use the system right. When one of the concourses go down, what do? Well, you open up the app and you start answering the questions here in the store and queue. It's one of our favorite things to do, and sometimes you do experience these delays, and so just try to, find a way to make the most of it. And so this is usually when the Play Disney app comes out.
Soar into tower. We are ready for takeoff.
Hold on.
Living with the Land is still a posted 20 minutes, but again, we have a Lightning Lane, so we're gonna come over here. I know that a lot of folks don't even like this ride. I love it. Again, it feels so old Epcot to me, right? With conservation stuff, all the things. And so we love being here and being able to see some of the old stuff that we do have from Epcot still. And this is one of those pieces that always makes me think of what Epcot has always been, and we really enjoy this ride. All right, again, as soon as we tap in, we're gonna click on My Day right here and just see what's available. I think that, everything's gonna be gone, but there's a chance that we might get the Seas with Nemo right there. So let's grab it.
How many here?
4.
4 of us? It's already been checked for just a second.
All right. And so there we go. Remember again, as always, that last continue, it'll get you. Make sure that you can view My Day, and then there's where you're going to take your screenshot of all of your plans right there, and you can see that we have it. Another thing to keep in mind is that this is where if you are going to park hop, you can see that now we are just out of options here on, here in Epcot, and so we're out of things that we can change it to. But if you go into modify, you can now begin to start booking stuff in other parks, Magic Kingdom, is what popped up next. You can see that there's some things available there. I can't believe that we still have some of these big ticket items here. And then also, if you go up top, you can actually change your park if you're going to hop to a different park. And so even though we're out of stuff here, if you were going to park hop, this is where you can begin to start making those reservations for another park. So keep that in mind, that you're not limited to the park that you bought in. You can hop to any park and there's no extra charge for that. And so you can keep using your day somewhere else.
More than half of its plant and animal species. Rainforests are also extremely rich in productive living systems, providing us with oxygen, food, medicines, and other elements essential to our lives. Welcome to our living laboratory, where scientists from Epcot and the U.S. Department of Agriculture are exploring innovative ways to produce bountiful harvests now and into the future.
All right, we're heading over to Spaceship Earth. We have Spaceship Earth left, we have the Seas with Nemo left, and we also have Frozen left for our lightning lanes. And then I think the rest of the family is going to hang around and do standby for Ratatouille, and we will have ridden like everything in the park, only using just a couple of standbys through the whole day and being through with everything by 2 o'clock. And so again, even though you're not going to get as much use out of it here in Epcot, a day that's crazy like today, huge crowds, we're still able to go around, take our time, enjoy the day, do the things that we want. Now here is the last tip for you that I'm going to give today, and this is a big one. Guys, before you come to Disney, get a travel advisor. It's so important. It doesn't cost you a penny. Find one that's earmarked. This is Disney recognizing that they are great at what they do. They've gone through Disney training. They have an official partnership with Disney, all the things. And if there's one that I can recommend to you, Ticket to Adventure Travel Company is the official travel partner of us here within a Disney State of Mind. Ticket to Adventure is an amazing company, and I want you to know that they helped us out long before we became partners with them, and I'm even an agent with them now. And so if you want to contact me directly, you can. I'll put some information down in the description, but any of our agents are amazing. We work together as a team. There's not really a question that we're going to encounter that one of us don't know, because we work together as a team. We're always messaging each other. Hey, what about this? Do you know this? And we work together with no charge at all to you. It costs you not a penny more. As a matter of fact, in most cases, we can probably save you some money, but it doesn't cost you anything else to have a professional travel partner right there on your team, ready to walk through this whole trip with you, to help set up your lightning lanes, to do all of the things, help you with, Disney dining reservations. We can walk you through every single one of these processes. We can help you in this. That's literally what we're here for. We all love what we get to do, and we would love to help you have a magical experience too. And so that's kind of my last big tip, is to try to make sure that you have somebody on your team ready to work with you, ready to help you have the most magical vacation you can in the most magical place on earth. Is it possible to take a picture of nostalgia? Yes. I present to you Exhibit A.
This unknown Egyptian pound and reeds flag is inventing for Paris.
I don't know how many of you guys have taken the time to just come in and explore Project Tomorrow whenever you get off of Spaceship Earth. I highly recommend it. There's like some really cool fun games around here, some just neat things to do and see. And so don't discount the fact of, this is just the exit of a ride and you're gonna walk through it. There's a ton going on in here, and you guys should really take the time to give it a look sometime, because it really is a lot of fun. Right now I am in full fiddle faddle mode. What I mean by that is that you can click on a ride that you want and you can go back and refresh, and it'll pop straight back to it. Like right here, I'm looking for Remy's, and you can see multi-pass experience not currently offered. But I'll occasionally open the app and just start refreshing it, in the hopes that one might pop up. And this does happen sometimes. It's harder with some rides than others, but sometimes you can get one to pop up for you. And so I'm not giving up on Remy's. And that's one of the things that I would say for you too, is that if you get going through your day and there's that one thing that you really, really want, even though it's gone right now, doesn't mean that it'll stay gone. We've been able to ride stuff a lot of times that was sold out. And so just hang on to hope, keep checking. It may not happen. The family may have to go and ride at standby, but I'm going to keep checking while I'm here just to see if we can get lucky. I've got 2 more lightning lanes booked, and I don't have anything else that I can book. And so this is really all that there is left. And so I'm going to leave that one available just in case something pops up. While we were in there looking around some, we also utilized another great time-saving tip, mobile ordering. It was actually the only way that you could order for a while during the pandemic, unless you were in a weird situation where you only had cash or certain dietary needs. But now it's just a great time saver. And so we set our pickup window for 20 to 50 minutes. And so we've got that time frame. And so during that time, while they're getting everything ready and it comes our turn, we're going to go over and ride the seas with Nemo and then come back and pick up our food. There's a option there where when you get inside your window, you can click I'm here, prepare it. And what we usually do is we'll click I'm here, prepare it, like when we're about to walk in the door of the place, or like 60 seconds, 2 minutes before we're walking in the place. We don't want to do it too early, because if they get your food ready and put it up on the counter, it's going to get cold while you're waiting. But we'll do it as we're walking back into the place, and that way our food will be ready. We'll have some lunch and we'll finish out the day. Again, guys, it's 12:43. We've done, everything that we wanted to do, and one of the things that made it possible was Lightning Lane. We haven't really waited in any lines today because we've just used the system as well as we possibly could given the day. Like I said before, every day is different, but just see what the day throws you and see what you can do to get in the things that you want to accomplish. Remember earlier I mentioned that there is not a scenario where I would be lined up out here for the seas that it would go back down. You can see the lines are back relatively low. I don't know what the wait time is, but before there were folks lined up all out here, and now there's not, and so it's obviously much lower. The wait time's actually not posted right now, but we got a Lightning Lane, and so we're gonna go in and I'll see what it looks like inside. This looks like one of those fun situations where the Lightning Lane is actually longer than the queue, but remember the queue inside does go back and forth. The Lightning Lane is going to drop you like right there at the front, and they do prioritize the Lightning Lane. And so even though it looks a lot longer, don't be discouraged. It shouldn't be too long of a wait, but this is going to be a little bit of a wait, but they'll start waving us in pretty regularly here in just a second. And it wasn't bad at all. It was like 5 minutes, and so we got on pretty quickly. While we were in there, I kept fiddle faddling, and again, one populated. It was for 425, and so obviously that's way too late for what our plans are today, and so we did not hang on to it. But you can do that, like just don't give up, and you can hang on to it and then even try to modify it later if you want to, if it's not going to fit in your plans. But again, it just goes to show you that they're not ever like completely gone. If somebody's going to drop one, or maybe there's some modifications that somebody made, one might populate, it might show up. And so just be persistent. I know that it takes a lot of time and people don't want to just stare at their phone, and so I don't recommend doing it like for long periods of time. But maybe here and there, pop out your phone, do it for 60 seconds, 2 minutes, something like that, and see if you just might get lucky. But now we're gonna go over and get us some lunch. And today lunch is going to be Connections. We really like this place for a really strange reason. They have zesty sauce. and what's it good on? The answer is everything, but they have zesty sauce. All right, we got us some pizza, fries, chicken tenders, shocker, and chicken tenders. And then Carter is coming back with what really matters, zesty sauce. I really am wondering, is there anywhere in Disney that has zesty sauce that is not here? If so, I need to know. Like, I don't even know what's in it, but it's so good. So we are gonna head over to Frozen and ride our very last ride. We were walking by Test Track and we noticed that they took some lettering off of it and have some more construction stuff over there. There's some scaffolding up also. I'm actually gonna flip this around right here. You can see that there's some scaffolding up over there, over at the main entrance. I don't know if you can make it out, but they've actually taken Test Track off the wall also over there where it says presented by Chevrolet. Remember that once that is back up, you will have another Tier 1 attraction, which is gonna help a lot with the Lightning Lane. And so that's something else that, you know, we're gonna look forward to once that comes out, because that will be a Tier 1. So we're gonna head over to here, ride Frozen, and then I'm gonna call it a day. The family's gonna hang around a little bit longer, but I've got some stuff that I need to go take care of here on property. And so, yeah, we've had a great day here. This is our first time back in World Showcase today, and it is hopping. There's a whole lot of folks back here. I did just pass the Mexico Pavilion, and it reminded me to mention to you guys, you also need to check and see what is not included in your Lightning Lane selections, because there are things that you can't get a Lightning Lane for, like the Grand Fiesta Tour with the 3 Caballeros back there in the Mexico Pavilion. There is not a Lightning Lane for it. Some of the shows back here in World Showcase, there's also not a Lightning Lane availability there also. So do a little bit of homework. Again, get you an agent that's super knowledgeable that can let you know these things, but make sure that you know what you can and can't get also, to make sure that you see the shows or do some of the things that you want to do that aren't going to populate, you know, on that tip board, especially if you have only show experiences with Lightning Lane selected. So just another little tip to, you know, keep in mind. So we are here now, turning the corner, going to ride Frozen. This is always a really good use of Lightning Lane because you can see the line is crazy. Just notice that the wait time says 45 minutes. No, it's not. Whenever it's out here with this many switchbacks, it is not 45 minutes. This is a quite long wait and a lot of sun. So am I the only one that has SquishBot right now?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, raise your hand if you have SquishBot. So just me. I guess I said, I don't know, I was on the side. My whole left side got wet on the splash, and I definitely have SquishBot.
I sat on the side. I don't have SquishBot.
I don't know.
I didn't get wet at all.
I just got unlucky.
Not a drop.
And with that, we are done. Guys, we had so much fun today using Lightning Lane, showing you guys a few things that we know, some things that we picked up on. Maybe you picked up a tip or two that'll help you along the way on your Disney vacation. Remember that if you guys see us in the parks, make sure you stop and say hey, because we would love to get to meet you. But until then, remember to keep living in a Disney state of mind. Bye, guys.
Thank you.